को यह गूंज उठी शहर और सन 59 की परेड
तुम्हारे दांत तो मोतियों जैसे चमक रहे हैं।
At the sound of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
एक चिड़िया एक करके
कितने आदमी थे?
They call it the collective consciousness.
समय आज मेरे पास बिल्डिंग है, प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी, क्या है तुम्हारे पास?
That unspoken, unarticulated, common comfort that a people unthinkingly and often unconsciously derive from certain images, sounds, and things.
Why this colaveri day?
Was it something similar that created this spontaneous feeling of warmth and familiarity for Nepal and its people? For while the mind said it was a foreign land, it didn't really seem like one. The people, the landscape, the language, the customs. There was something strangely comforting about it, an almost instinctive knowing. Was it some unconscious knowledge that made Nepal seem so strangely familiar? It seemed like an interesting question to ask. Little did we know that looking for the answer would take us through a fascinating journey. India and Nepal are two nations that share a unique open border. Two neighbors who trust each other enough to allow 1700 kilometers of unrestricted access to each other. Of this, we decided to pick Raxaul in India to enter Birganj in Nepal. The border towns of Raxaul and Birganj show none of the tension that we may have come to associate with borders along other South Asian neighbors. Here, Nepal is just one long traffic jam away. As inhabitants of one of the busiest trading access points to Nepal, Raxaul's residents have an obvious and perhaps inevitable connection with Nepal.
नेपाल एक विदेश है। इस कारण से विदेश होने के कारण भारतीयों के मन में एक सदा थी प्रारंभ से ही कि हम विदेश जाएंगे, और इतनी आसानी से विदेश जाने का मौका किसी को मिलता नहीं है। इसलिए कि इस देश में जाने के लिए किसी न पासपोर्ट की आवश्यकता है, न वीज़ा की आवश्यकता है। कब चले गए नेपाल और कब चले आए भारत, ये पता नहीं चलता है।
The open border facilitates more than just the seemingly romantic notion of easy international travel. For thousands of Indians and Nepalese citizens, it has helped them to freely pursue work opportunities in each other's country. Every morning, Professor Sinha and Mrs. Sinha leave for work. While he makes his way to his college in Raxaul, Mrs. Sinha travels by rickshaw to a different country to teach in Birganj. a routine they have been following for the last 20 years.
पर डे मुझे बॉर्डर क्रॉस करना पड़ता है, इसलिए कि रेसिडेंस मेरा रक्सौल में है और वर्किंग वहाँ नेपाल में है। ये दोनों पड़ोसी राष्ट्र के नाम से जाने जाते हैं, भारत और नेपाल, और रक्सौल बीरगंज को ऐसे हम लोग जुड़वा शहर के रूप में देखते हैं।
But it's not just a commercial and business link that makes the relationship between the people living along the border so vibrant. Years of living together has, through time, created family ties through intermarriages between the people of the two nations, especially in the plains. People living in these regions often refer to it as the Roti Beti Ka Rishta, or a relationship characterized by links established by matrimony and commerce. A relationship we soon found out that went back not just in time, but also in legend. They say it was a wedding between a strong, handsome young prince of Ayodhya and the beautiful and wise princess of Janakpur that started it all. Ayodhya is in modern-day India, while Janakpur is a part of Nepal.
भी तो भारत नेपाल हुआ तो अलग अलग नामकरण हुआ, लेकिन पहले तो जम्बूद्वीप के अंदर में जो जहाँ रहते थे अनुकूल वर वधू से ही विवाह होता था। तो वो टुकड़ा होते होते जब भारत और नेपाल जो भी अड़ोसी पड़ोसी जो राष्ट्र बने, तो वो कुछ बंटवारे के हिस्सा में कोई उधर के कुछ इधर के, तो ये शादी कल्चर जो है वो त्रेता युग से चलने लगा। राम के समय से ही, कुछ दशरथ के समय से, भाई इसे तो बहुत इनकी 150 पीढ़ियों पहले से भी चलता आया है।
In fact, if legend were to be believed, it is here, in this pristine forest, right at the border of India and Nepal, that the saga of Ram and Sita was written by the sage Valmiki and handed down through generations in both countries.
नेपाल र भारतको सम्बन्ध अहिलेको सम्बन्ध होइन हैन, अब यसको त प्राग ऐतिहासिक कालदेखिकै सम्बन्ध रहिआएको आध्यात्मिक सांस्कृतिक सम्बन्धहरू जारी नै बन्यो। अहिले पो हामी भारतको सिमाना नेपालको सिमाना भनेर भन्छौँ, त्यो बेला त्यो त्यस्तो भन्ने कुरा पनि थिएन। हामी चाहिँ फ्रीली आवत जावत भइरहन्छ नि तपाईँ होइन, नेपाली मान्छेहरू भारतमा जान्छन्, भारतको मान्छेहरू नेपालीमा आइरहन्छन्, अहिले पनि चलिराखेकै छ।
Today, this tradition of mixing and mingling has resulted in Hinduism having become yet another link between the two countries. Pilgrims from both countries use the open border to freely visit temples on either side.
नेपाल के लोग यहाँ चार धाम की यात्रा करने आते हैं और यहाँ के लोग पशुपतिनाथ का दर्शन करने जाते हैं। तो वो बॉर्डर जो है लाइन, पॉलिटिकल बॉर्डर लाइन, लोग भूल जाते हैं।
A dip in the waters of the Ganges in the ancient city of Varanasi or Kashi has been one of the most popular destinations for Nepalese pilgrims for thousands of years. A significant Nepali population has even made Banaras their home through time.
यहाँ पहले तो लोग मकान खरीद करके जिंदगी भर यहीं रहने के लिए आते थे वृद्धावस्था में, और एक पढ़ने आने का एक कारण लोगों को यही था कि उनके जैसे कि दादा यहाँ पढ़ने आए तो उनके बच्चे यहाँ आगे पढ़ने के लिए, क्योंकि दादा के साथ रहेंगे, एक फैमिली एटमॉस्फेयर में रहेगा। तो इस तरह से कई उदाहरण हैं यहाँ पर कि अपने परिवार के साथ लोग रहकर यहाँ पढ़ाई लिखाई और धार्मिक काम करते हैं।
A shared history has ensured a special place for Nepalese pilgrims in Varanasi. In fact, one of the bathing banks on the Ganga, the Lalita Ghat, is referred to as the Nepali Ghat. Another significant landmark of this shared past is this massive temple complex that was once built by a Nepali king in the same style as the Pashupatinath temple in Kathmandu. An interesting footnote in the story of the Nepalese in Varanasi is the community of Indians of Nepali origin who live together. Often called the Nepali colony, the Doot Vinayak Mohalla goes back at least 200 years. The forefathers of most of who now live here had once come to India for trade or education.
Varanasi was again one of the centers for the India's religion, India's not only religion, but it was also considered to be the center for the knowledge. That was one area which has been established as a center for knowledge for India and Indians. So these scholars from Nepal who would come, scholars from India who would be there, and Varanasi again being the place where there were many aspects which could really be encouraged by these scholars in terms of the pursuit of the knowledge.
With the passage of time, Varanasi also came to be known for a different kind of education. The Banaras Hindu University played host to innumerable sons and daughters of Nepal. Among them were people like B.P. Koirala, who after playing a significant role in India's struggle for independence, went on to become Nepal's first democratically elected Prime Minister in 1959.
आप जहाँ रहते हैं वहाँ के पॉलिटिक्स से थोड़ा सा इम्प्रेस होते हैं, प्रभाव पड़ता है थोड़ा, तो उस प्रभाव से आप उसमें उस धारा में एक धारा जो बहती है उसमें आप बह जाते हैं। तो वो जो नेपाली यहाँ रहते थे तो वो भी उससे अछूते नहीं रहे।
The Nepalese are today such an intrinsic part of the fabric of Varanasi's culture that it is impossible to imagine the city without them. Shan, for instance, is a young priest from Nepal who moved to Banaras to complete his religious studies. The quest to understand Hinduism led him to the study of the language of the scriptures, Sanskrit, which, like most Indian languages, is also the root for the Nepali language.
बनारस आने से पहले पूर्व 2 साल मैंने नेपाल में संस्कृत पढ़ा। स्कूल पढ़ते पढ़ते मेरे को एक ख्याल आया कि और कोई संस्कृत के बारे में बोलते थे, संस्कृत पढ़ने वाले ऐसे होते हैं वैसे होते हैं। मेरे मन में भी एक इच्छा हुआ कि मैं भी संस्कृत लाइन में जाऊं। आखिर उसमें क्या है? फिर मैंने भैया से बोला कि मैं बनारस जाना चाहता हूं। तो पहले तो मना किए थे, अभी समय नहीं हुआ, अभी बहुत छोटे हो। तो फिर बाद में बोले ठीक है, तुम इतना जिद्दी करे तो जाओ, जाके देख के आओ, देखना चाहिए, हर चीज़ समझना चाहिए क्या है, पढ़ना ही सिर्फ नहीं रहता है, उसको समझो पहले। तो मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया, हाँ मैं भी बनारस आऊँगा।
Today, Shyam is not just proficient in the language, but is also one of the priests who preside over the famous and popular Ganga Aarti on the banks of the river in Varanasi.
सर्वकार्येषु